Hello, and welcome again. Welcome to another edition of SC Sports Talk. I'm your host, Ryan Porter. Today is the 22nd of February in the year 2014. And the first thing I want to get to is the men's Olympic hockey team. They played in the semifinals yesterday versus Canada and lost 1-0. So they played in the bronze medal game earlier today, and they lost the bronze medal game 5-0 versus Finland. So they will not medal in men's Olympic hockey. And also today, we got college basketball games. And the first game I want to talk about, of course, is the Syracuse versus Duke game. It's going to be a big game today, number 1 versus number 5, which probably won't be likely after this week because one of those teams will have two more losses during the week because Syracuse lost earlier in the week to Boston College and Duke lost earlier in the week to North Carolina. My prediction for that game, I know both teams will bounce back, and I'm going to go ahead and say I think Duke will pull that game out. Maybe just because it's at their Cameron Indoor Stadium. But I think they also have a tougher team than Syracuse, bigger a little bit because of Jabari. And we'll just see how that game goes. But I think Duke will come out and on top of that game, and Syracuse will go in to next week with 2 losses on their schedule. The next game is number 19 Texas versus number 8 Kansas. I was surprised how good Texas has done this season, and Kansas has not been as good as I thought they would with Andrew Wiggins. I thought Andrew Wiggins was going to be much better than he's lived up to, but he's still a young kid. I think he will grow. I think he will still be a great player. It's just this year he's not as high level freshman as Jabari Parker maybe or some of the other freshmen out there. Next game, first I want to make a prediction. I think Kansas will win that game pretty easily. And the next game I want to talk about is the Notre Dame versus UVA game. Notre Dame's unranked now, and UVA is number 14 in the nation. And UVA's actually come on really well this season, but I think they're going to lose this game today to Notre Dame. And the Duke Syracuse game's on at 7 o'clock. Texas Kansas game's on at 7:30, and Notre Dame UVA game's on at 2. Now I want to talk about the Tar Heels and what to expect from them in March. They played another great game the other day versus Duke when they won. It was terrible on the free throw line until about the last 2 minutes of the game when they didn't miss a free throw. But they need to get better at that. Honestly, you never know at this point because they've shown you 2 different Tar Heels teams when they play good against better teams, but they lose to teams like Belmont and UAB. But we'll see how that goes. And I'll be right back with more from the NBA. This is SC Sports Talk. I want to get into talking about the NBA. The first thing I want to mention is LeBron. He did break his nose the other day. It's not going to be a big deal. It won't set him back. It should not. He might miss a game, maybe 2, but he's not going to do anything wrong with that. And now I want to talk about basically teams that did not really do what I thought they would have done on the trade deadline. Surprised that Rajon Rondo is still a Celtic. I don't know how long that's going to stay. He probably will be gone within the next year. I don't know where he's going to go, but he probably will be gone. The Nuggets, they have a huge trade exception in their pocket from Andre Iguodala's trade before the season, and I'm surprised they did not use that to get some kind of mid-level, big-time player instead of trading away Andre Miller. Andre Miller had to be gone, of course, because of his falling out with Brian Shaw, but I don't know why they just kept that in their pocket. We'll see. The 76ers, they completely just went on a fire sale on the trade deadline. Traded basically their team. And then they got Danny Granger in return, but he's be a free agent this summer. So now we can talk about the NBA free agents that have just gotten their buyouts, like Glenn Big Baby Davis, Antoine Jameson, Ben Gordon, and Meta World Peace is working on his. Also, the Nets are looking into signing Jason Collins, either him or Big Baby, because they want another big guy down low. So that will be interesting. Um, I'll be right back on SC Sports Talk. The last thing I want to talk about today before we go is I do want to get into discussion since the NFL Combine is currently going on. I want to talk about the number one overall pick and what the Texans should do. They basically have two choices on their hands: Jadeveon Clowney and Johnny Manziel. If you get Jadeveon Clowney, your defense will be really even better than it was. I don't know how it could get better, but he would make it better. To have him with J.J. Watt on that defensive line is basically shut down for running, get good pass rush. So that would be great. And then to have Johnny Manziel on the offensive side of the ball would be very interesting. I'm a big believer in Johnny football. I think he's going to be a great football player in the NFL. He has a good wide receiver, Andre Johnson, to throw to on that team, hand it off to Arian Foster. I think if you get Johnny Manziel, you'll be in the playoffs this coming up season. If you get Jadeveon Clowney, you won't, because you won't have a quarterback but you could get Clowney in your first pick and draft a quarterback in the second round, which I'm sure there will be tons of guys still out there. Like Carr will probably still be there in the second round, and maybe Brian Bortles, but I doubt that because I know that Johnny Football, Bortles, and Bridgewater should all go in the first round. But if you get lucky, somebody could fall and you get a good quarterback in the second round. I don't want to say who I think they should take, because either way, if they take Johnny Manziel or if they take Jadeveon Clowney, it's a good pick. But I would personally go with Johnny Manziel. But that's all we have for today on SC Sports Talk. I hope you enjoy the new website, and we will be back with you later in the week. Please have a great week and have a great time watching all college basketball on today. I'm Ryan Porter, your host for SC Sports Talk.